Everyone thinks a dash cam is just a cheap insurance policy you slap on the windshield and forget, but here is the thing, most of them fail when you actually need them. And that is exactly why the Garmin Dash Cam 47 is both overhyped and underrated at the same time. Overhyped because 1080p sounds basic in a 4K world. Underrated because reliability, GPS tagging, and smart incident capture beat raw resolution when the sun is blasting, the streets are chaotic, and you have seconds to preserve evidence. I ran the Garmin Dash Cam 47 for 3 weeks across city traffic, highway commutes, overnight parking, and a 95-degree heat wave. What I found flipped my expectations. Before we dive into what I discovered, quick heads up. If you are already leaning yes and want the best current price, I dropped my affiliate link below. But hold up, there are a couple of gotchas I uncovered that might change which Garmin you should buy. I started this test for a simple reason. My last budget cam missed the only moment that mattered. Hit and run in a crowded lot, camera overheated, footage corrupted, end of story. I needed something pocket-sized so it would stay discreet, tough enough to live on a sun-baked windshield, and smart enough to capture and store evidence even if I was not in the car. I was skeptical about 1080p in 2026, and I have been burned by laggy apps and gimmicky features before. The Garmin Dash Cam 47 sits in that mid-range sweet spot at around 219.99, with a 4.4-star Amazon rating, Garmin Clarity HDR, GPS stamping, parking guard, live view, driver alerts, and voice control in multiple languages. Sounds great on paper, but paper specs do not save plates at night or send alerts when a truck kisses your bumper. So I installed it, turned off the hype in my head, and let the roads do the testing. Setup was refreshingly boring in a good way. The 47 is tiny and goes virtually unnoticed behind the rearview mirror. Sticky low-profile mount, power to the 12V adapter, and the Garmin Drive app walked me through pairing and a quick firmware update. Within minutes, I had GPS location, date, and time stamped on screen. I like that it just starts recording as soon as the car powers on. Voice control worked right away. Save video and take a picture commands consistently triggered, which is exactly what you want when something unfolds in front of you. But then I hit the first reality check. Daytime clarity is strong for 1080p. The 140-degree lens gives you a wide view without that fisheye smear. In bright sun with rapid light changes, Clarity HDR kept shadows from crushing and highlights from blowing out. At 30 to 40 mph, I could pause and read plates 1 to 2 car lengths ahead. At highway speeds, it captured context and relative motion cleanly, which is what investigators care about. However, it is not a pixel peeper camera. If you need frame-by-frame plate pulls at 70 mph through dirty windshields, you are shopping the wrong tier. But then night hit, and I expected the usual grainy mess. Night performance was better than I anticipated. Headlight flare was controlled, signage stayed readable, and cross-traffic remained usable. At stoplights, plates were readable in front and diagonally, which matters in T-bone situations. Still, fast-moving plates at night are hit or miss at 1080p, that is physics. The difference is the Garmin saved the crucial few seconds before and after my test incident triggers. Incident detection was not overly sensitive, but a pothole or a sudden brake tap would lock a clip. That is the stuff you actually keep, but here is where it gets interesting. Parking guard and live view are powerful but conditional. Hardwired for constant power, I left the car overnight in a street spot and got push alerts when a delivery van bumped my bumper. The camera tagged the event, and once the car reconnected to Wi-Fi, the clip auto-uploaded to Garmin's secure vault. Free vault storage keeps your clips accessible for a limited window. Longer retention is available with a subscription. Live view let me peek in on the car from the app, but only when it had constant power and an active Wi-Fi connection. If your parking spot does not have Wi-Fi coverage, live view and instant alerts will be limited. The camera will still record incidents, but you will see them later when it reconnects. That is not a flaw. It is a design reality most people miss. Driver alerts were a mixed bag. Forward collision and lane departure warnings are helpful on long drives, especially if you tend to zone out, but in tight city streets they can be chatty. I dialed sensitivity down and found a good balance. Speed camera and red light warnings are region dependent and not available everywhere, so do not buy solely for that. App stability was solid for me. Pairing was fast, clip transfers were reliable, and multicam viewing worked when I added a second Garmin to the rear for testing. Heat test, The 47 shrugged at a week of parked midday sun. No shutdowns, no melted adhesive, no bloated battery issues. My unit came with a 16 GB microSD out of the box and loop recording never hiccuped. Audio was clear enough to capture horn honks and license plate exchanges, and you can toggle audio recording with voice. My biggest surprise, 1080p with Garmin's processing and GPS tagging produced more usable evidence more often than a couple of bargain 4K cams I have tried. Smaller file sizes meant faster Wi-Fi uploads to the vault, quicker phone transfers, and less chance of dropped frames on cheap cards. Over roughly 600 miles and dozens of saved clips, the 47 impressed me more with what it did automatically than with resolution bragging rights. Versus the Garmin 57 and 67W, the 47 is the safe middle. The 57 gives you 1440p if you want a little more detail. The 67W widens the field to 180 degrees if you prioritize context over plate clarity on the edges. If you want one-device LTE and remote monitoring anywhere, you are shopping the Garmin model with built-in cellular, not the 47. And if you need a pure value play with higher resolution and fewer smart features, a Viofo A119 series can be cheaper, but you give up the seamless app, vault uploads, and polished voice control. Bottom line. The 47 is a reliability-first camera with just enough smarts to matter. Now that you know the real trade-offs, rock-solid capture, GPS evidence, and dependable uploads versus conditional parking alerts without Wi-Fi, grab it while the price is good. The 47 often dips below list, and I have linked the best current deal and compatible hardware kits in the description. Here's the verdict. If you want a tiny, set-it-and-forget-it dash cam that nails the essentials, survives heat, stamps GPS, listens to your voice, and quietly uploads crucial clips, the Garmin Dash Cam 47 is worth it. Daily drivers, rideshare, parents handing keys to a teen, buy with confidence. If you need 4K plate pulls at highway speeds, full-time remote monitoring without Wi-Fi, or dual channel in one unit, look at alternatives in Garmin's lineup or competitors. Do not waste your money chasing specs you will never use. Invest in a camera you can trust when it matters. That is the power of the 47. And remember, check your local laws on recording and mounting before you hit the road.